Hello and welcome back to How Music is Made. Tonight we're coming back to the mix we started off like almost 2 months ago. No, it's not that long ago, but we started off several weeks ago now. And I gotta tell you that the mix is almost coming to an end because the track is starting to sound very much like music. And today I think I'm gonna be doing something very fun because we're gonna be going full on special effects. We're gonna be I have plans for it, so I'm gonna press play, show you the track as it is right now, and then I'm gonna disclose my plan for tonight. So let's get to it. First and foremost, this is Luna. Welcome to Luna by Universal Audio, the software we are gonna be using tonight for mixing this track. And in front of you, you got the mixer, which is showing you everything, all of the different tracks and their position volume-wise, based on the position of these guys, the faders. And over here, we're gonna have all of the tracks that are part of our sound or our music presented to us in a visual fashion. Okay, so I'm gonna press play. We're gonna listen to the track as it is right now, and then I'm gonna be giving you my ideas and plans for tonight. Here we go from the very top. All right. As I said in the introduction, the track itself is very much done. It already gave us the impression of it being almost professionally produced, or at least is almost close to finished. The thing is that the introduction is a mess. I think that the very beginning, where the guitar is playing the rhythm and playing in a very loud fashion, I may say, it's a little bit too in the nose. I don't like it because it feels a little bit weird, especially considering that the lead guitar kicks in quite early as well, and it doesn't have the same impact as I would like it to have. But there is a reason for that. I've been saving this particular trick for this long because I want to do something fun. Ever since I began producing this track, if you go back to any of the early episodes of this particular series in which I actually showed you how I produced that track, I recorded the track in front of you here live on YouTube. I had this idea of this track starting off as if it was playing from a very old, kind of low quality radio, if that makes sense, right? Doing the traditional kind of sounding like this effect that it's kind of lo-fi, if that makes sense. So I want to do that today because I think since I am quite happy with the sound of the mix in general, it's not fully finished, but it's almost done, like 90% is there. I feel confident now that I can work on the introduction properly. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So the idea is to give this impression of this coming out of a radio. Broken radio, old broken radio, if I am precise. So how to do it? There are many ways to do that particular effect. So let's try them out. First thing, the guitar. Let me elaborate what I'm trying to say once again. First, we gotta define what kind of sounds are gonna be coming out of the radio, because we got during the introduction, we got the guitar playing the bang, 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 the rhythm. Then we got the percussions and some of the drums. So I like the idea of having some of the drums affected by this, but saving the kick all the way down to the point in which the track begins here. There. I want to save the punch to that point. So here, we gotta find a way to create this kind of broken radio sound that affects the entirety of the mix, or not necessarily everything everything from the mix, up until that point. Let's first try out something that affects the entirety of the mix. So I'm gonna go all the way down to the master fader, the summing bass, which is what we're using to glue everything together, and I'm gonna put it over here at the very end of my signal path over here. The first effect that comes to mind is vinyl. Let's try this out. Look. Can you hear it? It's already doing its thing. So let's see. I'm gonna create a cycle here. So we're gonna be looping back and forth the entirety of the introduction, all the way down to marker number 2, because that's the point in which I wanna get rid of the effect. Let's see. Okay, wait a second. The scratches, I don't like them. And also, I don't know about you, but I would like it to be like blending in little by little, rather than having it on the entirety of the time. Let's see. I just want to see if this inspires me to go to a particular place, musical speaking or sound-wise. Let's see. Press play. Look, I like the sound, but I truly like the idea of these coming in and out. Like the track, it's little by little developing this more hi-fi tone to it. And as it is right now, this is not capable of doing it because it doesn't give me control over the mix. This means that the effect is simply on and off, and I want this to be like a gradual thing. Like progressively speaking, the track becomes more and more hi-fi. Let me turn it off because the noise is driving me nuts. Even though it's doing its thing, I think it's not necessarily a tool for a job. But it was just for me to have an idea of what can we do. So, next trick. We're gonna try a different effect. This time around, let's try a filter. And let me go for this guy. This is the Moog Fogger filter. This thing is gonna cut everything from that point onwards. So we're gonna be removing everything, all of the high end. See what happens. I liked it. But I liked better the sound of the vinyl because I don't want the effect of the filter. I want something similar to the vinyl thing that we were trying before. Because the idea is for this to sound like lo-fi, like kind of broken to a certain degree, for it to reach a point in which it opens up naturally. So it takes us to the fully fleshed out mix. So I'm not convinced. So that guy goes out, but it was worth a shot. Now let's try a different effect. There is one that I like, and I always end up using that one. This is lo-fi. I don't know how is it spelled. Wait a second. Maybe we can try the mellow. This is actually very good as well. This is also fun. The thing is that it doesn't have a mix. Does it has one? Let me check. Let's try it. Nah, it's a good effect, but it's not doing the job in this one. No, the one that I want to try is called Lo-Fi. Let me check it out. It's Lo-Fi AF. Where is it? Okay, let's try this one. Does it has a mix control? It does. No, this is a warble, and I don't want that. No, it's the one that I am looking for, but I don't know how it's spelled. So let's check. Let's look it up. It's from. I always forget. It's Blind Alliance. Give me a break. Give me a break. I'll find it. Unfiltered audio. Yes, it's unfiltered. Bad. Let me find it. Lo-fi. I knew it. Yes, it's Lo-fi AF. Look at this, and it's called like that. Good. Found it. And this guy actually has a mix knob. So this means that I might be able to pull it off. First, I'm gonna go for a preset, something out of the factory. Let me see. They are found here. So let's see. Let's go for mild, maybe, or maybe bad, broken band pass. Yeah, older vinyl. Look at that, even the noise, very loud. Let's see. I'm gonna press play. Sam. Not fun, because I truly like what the other guy was doing. But this one, oh damn it. Let's see, full transport, of course, but also, let's see, I'm gonna try to develop the sound, okay? Here, the filter first. It's gonna be doing something similar to what the other effect was doing, the filter, the Mo that we tried before. Because the plan for me is to remove some of the frequencies that gives detail, definition, and excitement to a track, in order for it to sound like an old-timey record, okay? And then the plan is for me to add a little bit of this distortion or ruining the sound, making it sound like lo-fi, and let's see if this works. Yeah, let's see. The problem is that I truly like the effect, the first one, the vinyl, because that guy was actually sounding like I was looking, I was thinking. I'm gonna bring it back. And actually, I just switched for a much more older sounding record, like the 1930s. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick run, and I'm gonna see how it feels if I remove it on the in the point I want this to be like out of the equation. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more noise just to make it a little bit more uh, colorful, and even a little bit more of this, and lowering the speed, the revolutions, because I think that one was very good sounding. So let's see. Don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna even automate it. Look, I want to use, or I want to have the sound of the drums, the drum fill, the tum tum tum, to be the one that brings back the or takes us, how can I put it, like pushes in the full sound of the band. Okay, the full mix. This introduction, as it is, I like it. The problem is that I'm trying to come up with a plan for me to pull off this particular stunt, and I think I have one. Let me show you. First, I'm gonna make sure that I remove this automation, because if you don't know what automation stands for, let me explain. First, I'm gonna make sure that it's on right on read, so no problem. Then I'm gonna remove this. This means that the effect is gonna come in and out by its own, following the moment in which I inserted the effect itself. Now I'm gonna go back to the mixing environment over here, and I'm gonna turn this off. But here's the big one. I'm gonna do something kind of unthinkable and terrible. And some of you are gonna be like, what? I'm gonna delete all of the introduction. Yes, as you heard it. Because I already printed a reference track, exactly this version, before going live. Because if you recall, or if you have seen me working before, I like to always compare what I have done before with what I got going on right now, or at that point in the mixing process. And I'm going to be using that particular recording, or that particular version of the track, as introduction. And I'm going to be applying the effect to that one to taste. And I'm going to be blending in the master track. Yeah, you'll see. First and foremost, I'm gonna create a new track, a new audio track in here. So I'm gonna produce it, and I think it's gonna be under music, no, or here. And let's produce it. I'm gonna create a new one. That's not the button. It's this one. Audio track. Thank you very much. I want it to be stereo, and no, this is gonna be vinyl. Vinyl. Damn it, spelling. Vinyl. finally. And I don't need any of this, guys, so I should have... I'm gonna turn them off, and that's it. And nothing is affecting. Okay, good. Anyway, and in here, it's where I'm gonna be inserting the vinyl effect, and it's gonna be here, vinyl, truck. You know what? I'm gonna put it here. And also, I'm gonna give myself control over this thing through the use of an SSL plugin. I'm using SSL 316. Here it is. Now it's gonna be part of my board. And what's the plan? I'm gonna bring in the track, the reference point. Let me see if I have it here. No, but I got it on my metric AV here. And then right click, show in Finder. Thank you very much. Excellent. It's here. So with this been done, I don't need this anymore. Go back to the timeline. I know, bear with me. No worries. Here it is. Now we got the track, the introduction of a song, printed exactly the same one as we got here on our project. The only thing I gotta do now is selecting everything, all of the tracks here, and I'm gonna shrink them down maybe somewhere here because I wanna get the pow. Otherwise the bass, oh, I can see why. No problem. I can address it like here. Yeah, we can leave it here. Perfect. So what's the plan? Right now, I got here the sound, the vinyl record, or the vinyl effect. Let me turn it on. This guy should be fitting the, not the main. I gotta go straight to music. Where's music? Here it is. Okay. Now if I press play. A second, because of course I selected. Now I got control over the mix. Look, right now we got the super affected signal here. Of course, we got doubles there, but I'm gonna reduce this guy. Also, I need to zoom in because we're gonna have to be kind of surgical because of latency. There is a little bit of a... And let me nudge it like 5 samples. That's it. Okay, it's kind of there, but look, here's the plan. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna be blending both effects, or both signals, both tracks, in a way that will allow me to do what I was planning on doing since the beginning. Because I like the idea of having this effect going. I truly like the sound, but I don't like the fact that it's how can I put it? It doesn't give me a chance to blend the effect in. So I'm gonna select all of the other tracks that are not that one. So I'm gonna do it in a much efficient way, just by doing this. And I'm gonna get them to be longer, but I'm gonna be adding a quick or super long, rather, fade in. Let's see, selecting all of these regions. Let's see, somewhere like something like this. And this guy, I'm gonna go like this. Let's see if it works. Yes, but it's not aligned. We gotta make sure that it's properly aligned. So I'm gonna move it even more. See? So I'm gonna turn off the snap. Somewhere here, I think. Okay, it's working, but let me turn this off because it's truly driving me nuts. It's working, but it's gonna give us this problem. There is a little bit of latency. I don't know if you can hear that there is a point in which both of the tracks intersect. I'm gonna go a little bit nerdy because this is gonna be kind of highly technical. Or not highly, but it's gonna be a little bit more technical. Since we're dealing with both the same copy, or sorry, we're dealing with a copy of the original track, the main source of sound. The fact that I had to export it means that there is a slight delay. It's not happening at the same time when it in reference to the sound that we're actually dealing with. I think I could potentially speaking align it if I. No, I can't. But even though this is not gonna work, at least as I'm doing it right now, it already showed me that this particular process will work. We just have to re-imagine the way to make it happen. So I'm gonna be doing this rather than using the effect itself, or sorry, rather than using this sound or this particular version of my song, the print version. I'm gonna create a send, a copy. So I'm gonna just keep it muted because it might come in handy because I have there my effect. But I will go all the way down here. I'm gonna be creating a new effect itself. In this case, we're gonna be creating a bus, stereo bus. Yes, perfect. Give me nothing on it, please. No. Just like that. Great. Perfect. This is gonna be vinyl too. Okay. There it is. And that guy is gonna go to the effects out. Effects out. Is that a good idea? It could be a good idea. Now, by doing this, here's the deal. How can I blend in the original track? Because I want to be able to have both of them playing together, but one supplanting the other. Let's see. Trying to come up with a plan. Because the issue is this. We are right now dealing with this discrepancy when it comes to the alignment, time alignment of both sounds. And it's going to be very difficult for me to align them right in front of you here, live, right? Because it's super precise. And it's going to take me a good chunk of time. And it's going to be very boring and repetitive. And I don't want to do that. I want to give you the way to do it fast. So, how can I pull it off? Because we need to blend one effect and take it out. And since we're applying it to the entire 2/4 mix, that's the challenge. That's the actual challenge. So let's see. I can, potentially speaking, by using the effect, the bus that I created, I can move the vinyl effect. Let me give me a second. This is gonna be bad. Okay. I can move the effect. Jesus Christ. Copy. Yeah, here is copy. Perfect. I should have done that before. I can drop it here. Paste vinyl. Thank you. And have it there. Now the question is this. I need to find a way to blend the effect in with using the copy that I'm going to be sending from my main track. So I'm going to select everything once again. And let's see. Yeah, everything, including these guys. Drag them all the way to the top, like if nothing funky happened. Okay, there is. Now, I need to find a way to blend this. I could, potentially speaking, send a copy from here, my entirety, the summing bus, or even the main, because that could be a better solution. The main is the sum of everything, but I could. Let's try that one. I'm gonna use the sum. This is me thinking, okay? Then I'm gonna send it to the vinyl effect. Where the hell is it? Vinyl is one of my buses. Here is vinyl 2. And then I can have it pre-fader all the way to 0. Not like that, like somewhere here. And this could work. My sum is set to 0. So, yeah. So if I press play, here's the problem. This is the problem. See, since I am applying it to the sum, it's not. It's expecting to be fed by this. This was a very stupid move on my end. But look, principle-wise, is not necessarily correct, because what I can do, I could be copying or sending a copy from, instead of using the sum, we could use the main. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna remove this from the main. We're gonna create a copy. I'm gonna send it to vinyl 2. And if everything, no, wait a second, that's not needed. No, this is not gonna work, because the problem is that we're gonna be sending this copy. Look at this. This is just because we don't have a mix knob on those particular effects, and it's truly ruining my day. I am quite pissed by this. Okay, let me think. Okay, so if I send a copy from the main to, no, man, we don't have to do that. I can send it from the elements that I want to have the effect applied to. Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna copy drums. I'm gonna send something from the drums to the vinyl. Pre-fader, something like this. The guitar as well. Pre-fader, let's see. And okay, the thing is that it's gonna give us the same result because we're having doubles of it. And I'm trying to be very creative tonight. I don't know why I have this crazy idea. Nah, this is not gonna work. So No worries. You can try something different. I will try to make it to pull it off using a different effect because this thing, Isotope truly dropped the ball in that one because it's a great sounding effect. The problem is that not having this blend or mix knob, it's truly making this whole operation more difficult than it should. Let me remove this channel. Thank you very much. So we have to do it like I did at the beginning. I tried to use lo-fi as FF. Let's see. Okay, I think I got an idea. I'm gonna be using a speaker. Let's go for piezo, and let's try it. Okay, this is starting to take us somewhere. Let me try to go for something a little bit less in your face because I think I overdid it. Let's try it again. Okay, I'm starting to like it. The only issue is that I'm not fully convinced because I truly fell in love with the fact that we worked with before. And when I managed to pull off the stunt, blending both signals, the mix and also the print version, since I could pull off exactly what I had in mind, probably it's because right now I'm truly setting in that particular mindset. I truly want to make sure that this works because I think this is gonna work. I just need to find a proper solution to this. So let's see. I'm gonna clean up the fact. I'm gonna try to go in a very gentle fashion just to see if I can get something close to the fact that I wanna get. Okay, I think it's almost getting us there. So I'm gonna see if it works now. I'm gonna play it back from the beginning, but first let me make sure that I'm not selecting anything because right now Luna has been acting weird tonight. So here we go. I'm gonna be blending this bad boy because right now I think it's sounding similar to what I had in mind, but I'm gonna be giving a try to the automation thing that I said. So make sure that it's on latch. Here we go. I gotta make sure that I selected the sum. Here it is. Now we're ready to rock. You know what? I think it's better if we go from here. So let's do it again. But let me make sure that we remove the the automation. There is. And I'm gonna start at 70. There is. Allegedly, okay, here we go. Now we should be able to rock and roll. Okay, I think this is a good starting point. Finally, we got somewhere similar to what I was thinking. But I think the effects are a little bit too in the nose. So I'm going to back them down. I'm going to make them less in your face. And I want less noise because it was very loud. Let's see. No, don't like it. What happened to the filter? Oh, Jesus Christ. Today's not my day. Let's see. In a second. The automation didn't have the freaking on and off. Let me see. Bypass. Oh, beautiful. Okay, let's see. We'll work once again. Okay, let's see. Why, in the name of everything that is sacred, Luna is not saving the freaking bypass? Wherever. I'm not gonna keep wasting your time, so I'm gonna simply do this. I'm gonna take this guy. And I'm gonna just do this. Take it all the way down. So that's gonna be an even more natural fade out, so we don't have to turn off the effect. So now let's see, from the top. Okay, let's see. I think it's working now. Let's play it back from the beginning. And sorry for all the mess, but sometimes when you're not in the right mind space, for lack of a better term, it's difficult to come up with ideas. And the thing is that today I am trying to do something very audacious, and we're getting somewhere. But having to, and I'm not trying to give it to excuse myself, okay? Because I have no there is no shame in making mistakes or failing, right? Especially when you're trying to show that you're doing something live. Failure is part of the charm of a live show, I think, because, well, Is the danger, okay, that comes with it, with coming live. I am, as you can see, I am not truly convinced with the sound I'm getting. Probably because I got distracted, or I got very much uh, infatuated with the first attempt, the vinyl that we tried, the first effect, because that one truly sounded like I had that, like the idea I had in my head. The problem is that trying to come up with a solution to the lack of mix, of blending, the effecting with the rest of the mix, truly took me out of my train of thought. It truly derailed the whole operation, and I spent almost an hour trying to figure out a solution to this problem, and just for me to end up using the alternative, which I'm not happy. I don't know if I truly find this to be the proper solution. I'm gonna press play once again from the top, and I wanna try to be as positive as possible, just to see if this one gives me what I'm looking for. Let's try it again. I tried a completely different simulation of a speaker. It could work. I'm truly not happy. I truly don't like the sound I'm getting because it feels forced. It feels fake. It feels like it doesn't belong because it's too much. This guy is great. This effect, but tonight is not doing it. Yeah, yeah. I gotta admit the fit because it didn't work. No problem. That's part of mixing. Because the idea for me, or at least for today's exercise, has been, and it was the entirety of the time, to develop this vibe that I think you could hear, at least with all of different attempts at finding a solution to this particular problem. Uh, and the idea is sound. I think it's going to work beautifully. The problem is that probably due to me being kind of in this rush, and the pressure that comes with live streaming, and being against time, because I gotta make sure that you're entertained and also deliver some form of value to your time watching me doing this thing. uh, I got obfuscated. I couldn't come up with a proper solution to this particular effect. It's not that it sucked, because in many regards we got plenty of great solutions, or at least we tried different stuff. Most of it didn't work, and the one sadly that worked didn't allow us to pull off the stunt. I'm thinking of different ways to do it. Some are more complex than others, because the issue is this: since I truly want to make sure that we get this moment, this big drop when the entirety of the band kicks in, the bass joins the fray. I want that moment to be very special. And if I don't manage to, how can I put it? This is no longer the mixing engineer speaking. Now I'm going to be speaking as an artist and slash producer, okay? The introduction, if done correctly, with this kind of broken record thing, it's going to prepare the entirety of the mix and the moment of true interest, which is that moment in which everybody plays together and the big drop with the bass and the kick happens. If we prepare the mix properly, the track itself, to reach that point, and it happens the way it should happen, that's where we find gold. Okay? Right now, I couldn't do it. Uh, And I'm trying to come up with a solution in the last 10 minutes that we got tonight, but I hardly can come up with a plan right now because probably I'm pissed. I'm very frustrated with the lack of results. But if I can give you a piece of mind, or a piece of mind, a piece of advice rather, this is normal. This is not, hey, Victor, how is it going? This is not a big deal because it's part and parcel of producing music. Sadly, sometimes your ideas might be larger than what the tools you got at your disposal can provide. Or in this case, I am not necessarily speaking in the right mindset to pull it off. So I could try something different. Let's try this out. This might be the solution. I'm going to be applying the vinyl effect. Let me first make sure that this guy, yeah, that was an accident. I can apply the vinyl effect to the drums. I originally had that idea, but I kind of scrapped it because it could be kind of a mess. Vinyl spelling, damn it. Here is vinyl and super low res. So that's the one I liked. Then apply that to the guitars as well, because at that point it's just guitars and percussions. So let's try that out. Vinyl again. And the topic, Victor. The plan is for me to apply a little bit of a lo-fi effect at the beginning of the track, and for it to be dropped once the big moment for the song happens, when the band plays together. And I have tried different techniques and different solutions, but none of them have worked. And now I'm going to be trying this one. Could it work? Yeah, but it's going to be kind of hard to pull off. So let's see. I'm probably going to be the best attempt at it. So the plan is going to be this. I'm going to automate this bad boy. I'm going to have it here in, and we're going to drop it, zoom in. At this very point, this is where we want to have this big moment. So we're going to drop it here. Okay, that's I usually, yeah, thank you. Now it's in, now it's out, perfect. And I'm going to do the same on the guitars. And probably this is going to be the solution to this whole conundrum. And if that's the case, I sucked. I did a very terrible job. Let me see. I want the automation for the vinyl. There it is. Insert. Thank you. Here's double bypass marker here. Like this. Okay. Let's see. This might be the one that gets the cake. Okay. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. Why is that? We got plenty of effects going on at that particular, well, in the guitars in general. So one thing is having them muted the entirety of the time during the intro, and also the kick is very much, it's not part of the sound of the drums. So I will have to filter it or do something fun to it while the track's playing. So let's try the filter. So again, the Moog. Why the Moog? Because that one has a particular fun sound that I truly like. So let's go somewhere here. Let's see. That kind of worked. And here, the Roblick is saying, how about the mono bus? You send all parts you want the vinyl effect on. Then automate that. Mono would also help the drop seem bigger. Look at that. That's a good idea, my friend. And that's what happens when you have a cooler head than mine right now. I got frustrated, but that's actually a good idea. Look, this one kind of worked. Kind of worked. Because I realized that the problem that I was hearing, let me turn off the vinyls because it's very loud, or it's easier. I can fix it by just moving. Let me make sure that I go to the mixing section. Here. They are off by then. Okay. I could potentially do this. Yeah, it does. It kind of sounds like Pink Floyd. I happen to be a huge Pink Floyd fan. I couldn't help myself when producing this track. And actually, the vibe and the orientation for the sound or the mix itself is very much influenced by the sound of Pink Floyd. In a previous episode, I think I described it, the sound that I was looking for as a blend between Steely Dan and Pink Floyd, something like that, and kind of it's getting us there. Look, I like the idea that the RP suggesting, which is creating a mono synth and sending all of the parts that I wanna be affected by it. The issue is that I wanna be able to kind of do the blending. I already tried that before, didn't work necessarily speaking the same way as I wanted. But the idea of going mono could help. So how about this? I'm gonna do both ideas at the same time. I can create a new summing bus. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Look at this. I'm gonna create a new bus once again. This time around is gonna be a mono bus. Thank you. And as a folder, maybe. Yeah, why not? Bam. It's gonna be vinyl caps, vinyl bus. Okay, and then I will create duplicates of the stuff I want to be affected by the vinyl effect. This case, I will create. It's gonna be a duplicate. Yep. And the hell happened? Duplicate. Oh, damn it. What's wrong? Without count. Oh, here it is. Perfect. My mistake. Sorry. And then I'm gonna have it here on the vinyl bus. Now it's theme fed to this. This is actually one of the new features of Luna. Then I also wanna create this duplicate of this track, and again it's gonna go to this bus. Now it's summing all of them together, and it's mono, so it's gonna create this more squashed effect, similar to what Robnik was suggesting. Now let me show this guy. Yeah, I will now create a copy of the drums as well and percussions. Duplicate. Thank you. Yeah, it was creating the duplicate, of course, because it's plenty. I don't need that. Yeah, no worries. Just rest. Now let me organize my mess. Copies. All of the copies are gonna be sent to that particular monstrosity. There it is. Okay. And then I'm gonna minimize all of the tracks because I don't want this. I just want to have that one particular section of the song, and that's it. All the way here. Even more. And probably should have done this before, man. This is actually the best way to pull it off. Okay. And now, let's see, how do you hide those guys? Because I'm trying to learn how to. Okay. Okay, good. We got it going. Bad, even the precautions. Nice. I'll take it all the way here. And if everything goes according to my plan, we can have the big drop here. And also, zoom in. It's kind of tedious, I know, but you'll see. I think this is gonna be the solution to my huge problem. Okay. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna remove the vinyls that I had before. We don't need them here. Remove. And remove. And I'm gonna apply the vinyl to this guy. Again, vinyl. Thank you. I had it here and here. That was the sound that I wanted. But this guy has to go to the sum. Where's my sum? Where's my sum? Ah, yeah. Music bus. Here it is. Bam. Let's see. Okay. Bear with me. It's almost done. I think this is gonna be the solution. You're a genius, man. Well done. Look, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna create this huge fade out. Like somewhere here, then somewhere around here, and then I'm gonna select all of the tracks from the OG mix, the actual good mix, drag them at the point in which the fade out ends, or starts, sorry, and then I'm gonna blend this huge fade in. Now, if everything goes according to the plan, we did it. Almost done. The problem is that the lead is a little bit too early. Because since it's very much louder than the rest, because it's the lead, I have to make this guy to drop or to get into the fray there, almost at the moment of the... Let's see. Okay, almost done. And also we gotta get rid of that noise there. So let me automate this bad boy because it's truly taking the best out of my nerves. I need it here. I think that, where is that vinyl noise coming from? Oh, look at that, I knew it. Okay. Look at that. Move. It inserted a copy of those everywhere. That was my mistake. Also explains why some of the elements of my mix kinda got janky. Bad, no worries. This is meant to be lo-fi. So let's see. Now. So let's see. Okay. The problem is that it ruined my mix because all of the positions of my faders because I got replaced. Oh shit! I will have to copy these guys again, one by one. Let me see. Everything. Here we go. What a day! What a day, man! Copy. Kick. Okay, there is perfect. One by one, and also this guy shouldn't be here. Remove. Copy. Snare. Sorry about this, guys. It's one of those days. Yeah, because also my guitars, the entire thing got replaced by the vinyl because I had it selected. Oh shit. Let's say because the ones that truly matter are those guys, the percussion and the room. So let's copy the percussion. There it is, and the room. There is an overheads. Okay, let's try it out again. And of course the guitars, the one that got ruined is just two guitars. I don't have to cut, just have to drag them. This is the guitar, the guitar here. Okay, I know, but I'm. One second. This is on the left. Okay, and lead guitar. There it is. Now let's try it. Look at that. Wait a second. Oh, this is truly not my day, man. Should go to boss by now. Let's see. Okay, sorry about all of that crap. I'm very sorry. I couldn't detect that there was that problem. It's almost done. It's almost doing what I wanted to do. Let me explain. First thing, the kick, I will have to make the blending of the kick a little bit slower because it's very much too early for it to be part of the mix. I want it to appear in this particular hit. So let's see. I already did the Robert Blick. I already did that before. The thing is that it didn't work because I will have to explain to you. My mixing setup, it's actually a hybrid setup. I am running a summing. I'm doing an analog summing thing. Okay, I'm summing everything coming out of the mix. It's actually being run through my rack. I'm not using it for this particular mix per se, but the entire studio is wired up based on that concept. Why is it a problem? Or it wasn't a problem. It just made things way more difficult. Since I am printing real time, there is a slight delay. There is a little bit of latency involved in printing the track and bringing it back. Okay. And the issue was that at the moment in which both of those tracks blended together, so I could have the mix thing that I got now going on, it didn't work first by using the fully mixed printed track due to that latency issue. It was very obvious when both of them started to merge. You could hear the latency. There it was that, just the lag. So that truly took me out of my comfort zone. My idea went to the drain, but you truly inspired me to get to this solution because what you suggested truly opened the floodgates to the solution. Because now, if everything goes according to the plan, we can have the effect of us getting closer to the weird-ass old-timey radio and giving us the impression of the track fully enveloping us when the band kicks in. Let's listen to the effect. I think I finalized everything and I will explain the entire problem that we solved together. Thank you. Here we go. Ah, damn it, it worked!
Of course!
Finally! This is exactly what I had in my head since the beginning of this particular live stream. I truly apologize for me taking this long. Again, that's what happened. The whole thing that with latency, I should have expected that because I am aware of that. The sound of my mixing board, or not my mixing board, this particular studio is fantastic. I like mixing in this particular room for that very reason, the whole analog summing thing. The thing is that since I avoided explaining that very thing, I bypassed it. I ignored it completely, and I also, that affected my train of thought. That truly made me go through so many places. I tried all sorts of different effects or different techniques in order to get this particular result, and we finally did it. Now, you can see that I collapsed all of the summing, all of the effects, all of the different tracks in this particular monstrosity here, because if you click on this guy, you can collapse them. If you use Logic, they totally didn't rip off Logic for this particular feature. They totally did. But I love it. It's fantastic. And it's very new. This is actually, they added this particular function like 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to keep it like this. Now, for the effect to be even more palpable, I'm going to be doing a simple automation. I'm going to select my bus here, my vinyl bus, and I'm going to have it lower in volume. The output should be way lower or a little bit lower than the main mix. And we're going to be blending it little by little for it to drop bigly at the point in which it should drop. So let's see. Yeah, Victor, I dropped it 3 dB and it worked. I think I got it like, let me confirm. I dropped it all the way down to minus 2.7. Look at that. And that was enough. Why? Let me make this just the volume. No, not even that. Just give me the overview. Right now, since we're dealing with these fade outs, and I think I would even make this one a little bit more happen earlier, almost here, because you can hear the slight delay, a little bit of a comp filtering effect that is happening on the lead guitar tone. I'm gonna take it down like this, and with the output of the beginning of the track, the introduction of the track, being lower, we don't have to automate it. Why? Because the entirety of the main mix, it's already fading in, while the vinyl effect, it's fading out. Since our main mix is already louder by orders of magnitude, we don't truly have to do the automation because it's already happening, right? By virtue of both of the signals combining together. Now, let's see from the top, because I know we have spent an hour, almost 2 hours now, an hour and a half to be more precise, trying to pull this effect off, and I finally did it. Thank you, man. The robotic, thank you. And I know that I've been mispronouncing your name 30 of the time, but it's kind of far from me, the screen. Let's try to enjoy the track for this very point onwards. Here we go. Even more. Let's see. Okay, Victor, that's not a bad idea. He's suggesting kind of shrinking down a little bit the stereo width, less impactful the moment in which the entirety of the band kicks in, just for it to drop in a much more intense fashion. Makes sense. The thing is that I will have to go. It's possible, and it's not a bad idea because it's not that complex. I could simply have the effects, some of the look at this, some of the reverbs kind of out of the equation at that point, and that could get the job done. So yeah, I can try that later. Right now, my main focus is just to make sure that we get this nailed, this guitar thing, because I can hear the moment in which both takes clashes, and now I can actually hear the problem, the comp filtering, and that's not proper mixing. We need to make sure that this effect works because the rest of the thing is working. But that point, when the lead guitar kicks in, I truly can hear the problem, the phase incoherence issue. Let's see. You know what? I can even use that particular phrase as the moment in which that guitar is no longer fading in, or the vinyl effect, it's no longer affecting that guitar. Just let me make sure that I did do it with precision. Let's see. And I got a snap now. Final. Thank you. Snapping. Press. That's it. Yeah, is that phrase here. I'm gonna use that kind of moment. You're right, Victor. You're actually right. Because it's the stereo wheel thing, or the main mix joins the fray quite early, and the effect is not as we don't have that that much of a pronounced effect when it comes to the vinyl kind of narrow sounding intro, because the big mix kicks in quite early. There is a way to fix it. Let's try it out. I'm gonna once again go to the editing area, the arrangement, and I'm gonna collapse this because I think this is already working. But these guys here could happen even. I could even extend even more the fade in, and I think that's gonna be the solution, at least for the overheads. Let's try it first with these guys and these three guys, percussions and overheads. Somewhere here. Let's see. Now, you know what? I can do it in an even easier fashion and better. I'm gonna, because also the guitars are kind of doing that particular problem. I'm gonna, ish. Let me select this. 1, 2, the hell. And then, oh shit, whatever. I have to do it as the old pagan kings of old. I'm just gonna push it. I'm gonna shorten this guy. But the problem is the fade is joining, it's coming with it. So maybe somewhere here. And I gotta be quite precise because I don't want to ruin the surprise, the stereo surprise. So maybe if we begin adding the everything from here, this point onwards, rather than that early, we can do it. We can get the job done. So I'm gonna align them to the guitar here, and also align these guys to this. Now let's see. Okay, it's almost done. It's almost done. I loved it. But the hi-hats also happened earlier than it should, because this is a much better starting point for this thing. I'm gonna take this here. Now everything should be better. Even the snare, even the snare. Let's do it like that. Here we go. Let's see once again. Oh, yes, it's almost done. Why I say almost? It's because the toms are also way too early. I will even remove this particular hit here from the introduction, somewhere here, because I want to keep that moment from happening that earlier. Let's see once again. All right. I think this is way better. And I agree with you, Victor, 100%. It was taken away from the mono to stereo thing because it was happening too earlier, too early. The moment in which everything that it's a stereo happened, it was happening way too early, and it was actually removing the quality, the fact itself. It was not as impactful as it should be. And you're right, man. There is no rule when it comes to mixing. It's all about good taste. And I agree with you. It was a little bit too early because it happened almost at the very beginning. But one thing, this is always a process. It's impossible to come up with a proper solution on the spot. It requires to be patient. And I have learned, and what has allowed me to reach a point in which, well, I do this professionally, that it's very important for you to keep your temper and try as many possibilities before you throw away an idea. Because sometimes it's not that the idea is incorrect, your approach is incorrect, and it was actually you guys that gave me the solution to the conundrum that I found myself in, due to me being uh, in a hurry, which is the result of me live streaming and trying to keep the whole thing interesting and educational as well. Now, what I did here, many freaking things happened. The vast majority, or at least the first half of this live stream, is me just effing around and failing like it's going out of fashion. Terrible. Why? Because I was trying different ways for me to come up, for me to pull off the solution, or pull off the effect that we finally got in the end. I'm happy that we finally got it in the end, because to be very frank, I even got this clues from calling it quits, not because I couldn't come up with an idea, because I simply got frustrated. And I have learned as well throughout my career that when you start to get pissed off or fatigued by listening to the same track over and over and over again, without any form of push forward, uh, you start to make worse decisions, and you truly need to take a break. But it was thanks to you guys that you gave me this idea. Thank you once again, Ms. Robotnik, the Robotnik. He truly gave me, inspired me to come up with this solution. It sounds correct now. I truly like it. The fact in question is doing it. We can try even making the whole opening up from mono to stereo to happen only when the full track kicks in. We can give it a try, because as it is right now, I like how little by little you start to get this opening up. The mix starts to become wider little by little. But it could also be very impactful if it happens at that very moment where the drop takes place. Let's save this particular version. This is going to be mono to stereo B1. And notes, slow stereo width. Okay, there it is. Okay, now let's try a little bit more of a moment in which, bam, everything happens. This could work. And I think it's going to be very easy to pull off. I just want to select everything here, all the way down to this point, and die. Let's see. Okay, I kind of overdid it. That was kind of ridiculous. Don't know. Because even though it was kind of absurd, I didn't feel the same. Let me hear it. Let's listen to it once again as we got it. Yeah, Victor, I think this is the one. This is the one, right? Because it's giving us this super slow vibe, because it's actually kind of producer slash mixing engineer hat on. Remember, every time that I have the chance to tell you that the whole point of mixing music is finding ways to make sure that the intent behind the track, the emotional charge, and the intellectual concepts behind a piece of music. Your role as a music engineer is to make sure that it's expanded, amplified, and easy to be understood by whoever listens to any given track that you happen to be you end up mixing, right? Doing this introduction sets the mood for the track, because as someone mentioned before, it kind of has this super Pink Floyd vibe to it. Relaxed, introspective, kind of sexy to a certain degree, a little bit of romanticism involved. And I said in previous iterations of this exercise that one of the things that makes me think of is nostalgia, like remembering something. And the whole idea behind me adding this kind of effect, it's to produce this kind of, yeah, old stuff makes me think of things that happened in the past. And now we got this effect, the mono to stereo thing. We even have these moments in which you can realize that you're coming back from a memory to the present day once the mix opens up to stereo. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I went super esoteric on this. Yeah, so yeah, I think we finally come to an end. This was a long one. I truly excuse myself for sucking so much at the beginning. If Victor, you didn't have the chance to see me failing badly, and I think most of you didn't. That's good. The thing is that it's on the internet, so it's going to be saved forever, so everybody can see me struggling with my ideas at the beginning. But no worries, that's the point. And I don't have issues with that, because actually you will learn from my mistakes. That's one of the reasons why I do this live, because I want you to see that the process is back and forth and trial and error and being daring. It's not something that you just sit down and you end up with fantastic award-winning records. No, this is something that got to be done little by little. You should be willing to accept defeat. And when that happens, it's just life giving you a chance to excel at it again, like the orcs like to say. So don't break a sweat. And if you rewatch this and you find better solutions to this problem, also let me know, because the whole problem, in a nutshell, is what I explained before. It's a lag situation. There is latency involved in this process, and it was very noticeable. Even the reason why you saw me struggling with the lead guitar that much, it's because it was way too obvious that I was dealing with a copy. And when you do that, two things of the same at the same time playing together, which are copies from each other, the chances for them to produce some form of comp filter effect issues with phase is guaranteed. Okay, so that's why if I go back to the mix just quickly, you saw that I truly spent a good chunk of time trying to fix the solution, trying to fix this problem, and the solution was simple: just cut out the copy before the actual sound kicks in. That way, you make sure that no problems are inbound. And since this lead guitar is actually mono, you don't hear it. And at this point, the track itself, it's already almost here. It's when we got this the delivery. So we got it. So this is taking us to the final point of this live stream. A rookus one, a complex one. I think it was boring, at least the first half, because I was just fighting with my ideas. But I consider that to be very much important as well. As I said before, there is value to that, because now you can see what not to do. Because it's better me failing than you failing, okay? So, with that being said, thank you for joining, thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please consider doing it if this is the first time you're watching, because I do this every week. I try to explain this in a less convoluted fashion, but today I had to go berserk. I had to go, let me get rid of the noise. I had to go very much gung-ho, and because the scope of today's was way bigger than the usual. But it worked. So, rejoice. So, as every single time I meet you, the only thing left to remind it is that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about, and make sure to watch this week's video on the reaction show, because I got a good one for you. So be ready for that one. Dropping on Saturday. And as usual, the only thing left to remind it is that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that I'll see you when I see you.